Hey, Pleasant Valley Creative Arts community, Brian Nelson here, and wanted to kind of highlight a couple of things. First, Pleasant Valley was in the news yesterday. Second, we're going to be off stage here for a couple of weeks. You're going to begin seeing that. Third, just kind of an update on the main worship space painting, resurfacing. And another one would be larger teams that would accommodate for social distancing is coming hopefully soon. And the last one is just about our online worship gatherings. So let me hit the first one. Pleasant Valley was in the news yesterday. If you didn't see it, I actually forget which local station it was, but with the COVID-19 tests, Pleasant Valley has been one of the test sites. So if you didn't know that, they drive through the chapel entrance. They don't even get out of their car, but there's a whole crew of healthcare workers that have been working out of it would be just outside of the creative arts room that we gather in. They've been working out of that hallway. So they've got the full gear, masks and everything. They come out, swab people. And so anyway, if you haven't seen Pleasant Valley recently, if you go back and watch, I want to say, I forget I'm sorry. I wish I knew the actual channel name, but it was a local station, but they covered that. So anyway, just know that Pleasant Valley not only has been doing food kits, it's kind of been this good location for people to get testing, and that kind of is helping out our community in ways that we can. And even though we're not the ones doing the testing, and our site is just the location that they're doing, just think of all of the people that need Jesus that are driving into the chapel entrance. And so I'm thrilled that God is kind of leveraging that opportunity as just another exposure for us to introduce Jesus to them, just for them to know where the church is at and to drive through. So if you were to walk in that door and go out onto the stage, you would actually be met with a sign that says, "Do not enter, wet paint." And right now we can't even be on the stage because we've taken everything off of the stage, and it's completely bare. And it's already been resurfaced, and now a new coat of stain has been on. And then next week there's going to be the final matte layer of finish that goes on. And so some of you have come in and actually seen the painting that's been done and the resurfacing. And I think it was Kathy Simpson, Lisa Groom came in to do some work for us, and they said they loved how it looked. So we know it's subjective. Some people are going to love it. Other people are going to be like, it's just like music. It's so subjective. I love it because it's really allowed us to have more of a blank canvas to paint on, and it feels less cavernous. Feels a little bit. I'm hoping it's going to feel a little bit more intimate. And so anyway, it's just having a fresh set of paint. You know what it's like when you do that at home. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. When we put things back on, we're actually going to pause before we do that. We're not going to go with a set design right away. And maybe I'll just give you a sneak peek at something that we're working on here. So you're going to see this before others. So one of the things that we thought was, well, how many times in the life of Pleasant Valley has the stage been completely struck, completely bare, nothing on it, no trussing, no stuff that we're storing behind curtains? It's just very rare. And you also asked the question, well, what are some things that we could leverage this time for that we wouldn't be able to otherwise? Well, so we thought we need social distancing right now, and we have a stage that's completely bare. How many people could fit on the stage? So we went ahead and we kind of started doing some mapping of how many people could be on stage at a safe social distance of 6 foot or more. So at 7 foot, guess what? An orchestra fits. And so I think what we're going to try to do in one of the upcoming weeks, if this works, we're going to pull the orchestra. Shane Fuller is going to, our instrumental director, Shane Fuller, is going to pull the orchestra to kind of find out how many of you feel comfortable coming out in a certain environment, and we would record part of the worship service with orchestral members, and we can actually fit according to these measurements, I think it was 26 plus some band members, a very small band on that particular weekend. What would it look like? We don't put anything else on the stage other than just humans singing and playing instruments. So that's something that we're kind of working on. We hope that can be together, but we probably have one crack at doing that. Once a set design goes back and once all of other things come back on stage for storage, it's going to be difficult to do that with the social distancing. So we're going to take advantage of that. So you'll be seeing the poll probably coming shortly if you haven't already from Shane Fuller on that. A couple other like small things that we're doing that will just be kind of nice in the creative arts room, which we probably won't be able to meet in. But the bands, when you come and it's a very small group, and if we meet in that room, that far wall that when you first walk in actually was chalkboard. And so that's what Kathy Simpson and Lisa Groom that came in. They're working with Cassidy Williams and some of our graphic design department, and we want to actually do some chalk murals. How fun would that be when you come in to have just maybe something a little different in that room as we collectively gather together as a creative arts community. So that's being worked on. And you're likely going to see a church-wide survey coming out soon. One of the things with the reopening strategies that we've been having a conversation with is this is a little bit like, before pandemic times, you'd be able to drive 70 miles an hour with high beams on, clear conditions. And all of a sudden, it kind of feels like there is a fog. So the car is slowed way down, and we have to flip on our low beams. And so someone had mentioned this statement, which I think is just very wise. You think long term, but you plan short term. Think long term, that's good, but you don't plan for long term. Think long term, plan short term. So we're still working out what would it even look like if Clay County Health says at X date we can move on to step 2, which would allow 50% capacity in our rooms, because that's the square footage, that the capacity aligns with our square footage. So 50%. Here's the crazy thing. I want you to keep these numbers in mind. So 50% capacity of our main worship space, the worship center, would be about 900-ish people. Full capacity, fire code is 1,800 people. 50% capacity is 900. But here's the catch. You still have to social distance. And you cannot social distance in the worship center with 900 people. It's much lower than that. We're thinking maybe around the 300 to 400 range. Now we're still kind of piecing all this together, but I'm just going to ask that you would pray for wisdom. We want to make the right decision at the right time. And, we understand that there's grace and we can get things wrong sometimes, and we do. But we just want to make sure that we're making the wise decision and the better decision together. So there's lots of voices that are speaking into our reopening strategy. One of those key pieces is going to be a survey that you will be a part of. And as the church-wide, it's not just a creative arts survey. It's a survey that the entire church, and Merle's talked about this, that the survey would come out. So do us a favor. When you get that survey, fill it out quickly and return it. That's going to help us pivot, if a pivot can be done, when Clay County Health comes out with whatever their decision is on this next step 2. Until then, here's my challenge. My challenge would be keep engaging with each other online. Hit one of the worship services, Saturday night, Sunday, the 2 services there. And engage. Would you engage online together? When I say engage, what I mean is throw a comment out there, or share the service with others. Right now, Jesus is something that, there are people that don't know, that are driving through even the church COVID-19 test site, and they don't even know that Jesus provides hope. But you can bring that hope to them by sharing the service with them. And this is not about sharing Pleasant Valley's brand or anything. It's about offering the hope that they need during really kind of an upside down time. So would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to not only just engage online, but maybe share the service, and maybe just in one of these comeback series that Merle has been teaching, would you just take one of the messages and pull out something that spoke to you and share it on your social media? Sharing something on your social media in a digital world right now brings hope to people that we can't reach as a staff. You guys can reach them. So engage in that way to bring Jesus to others. We would love to have more first-time worshipers, both online and when we are able to regather when the time is right. Okay, I think that's enough. It's been about 10 minutes. We covered quite a bit. Everything from being in the news to being off stage, some plans coming back on stage, and some other things that we've challenged you with. So love you guys. We miss you. This is a strange time, but it's a good time because we're learning what we can do to carry on the mission that Jesus left for the church. And what's odd about this is, even though we're not gathering physically, his mission is still being accomplished, and you guys are a part of that. So looking forward to more of that in the days ahead with you. Take care.